I think my father he wasn't a sailor, but for some reason he forced me and my brothers into sailing school. And I think he had a dream of going sailing, and by getting us into sailing school and into dinghies, he thought at some point he would be able to buy a sailboat and use us to get him out to sea. So that's how I got started. I think there's absolutely no red thread or plan, but I kind of, sailing is such a cool sport because there are so many things you can do. So I did tall ships, I did dinghies, I did adventure sailing, I did cruising, anything that I could get myself into. So I tried everything, and at some point we did a lot of windward leeward racing. That was fun, but I thought building a team for offshore racing was really kind of the bigger challenge and a harder problem to solve. And I really enjoy the complexity of going offshore with a big team. So that's kind of what led me. No, not really. We tend to be, we pride ourselves in being like data driven and very objective, and not kind of doing things by the seat of our pants or being superstitious. But I think one thing that we absolutely try to avoid is to kind of set goals for results or discuss how well we'll be doing that day, because talking about that, winning a race, that's kind of jinxing it. So we always talk about just doing our best in the moment, and then the result will come by itself. I think, of course, it's one of the bigger, like, the plan now is to do a number of the 600-mile races, like Fastnet and Middle Sea. And I think when we took the boat to the UK and did the Fastnet, and none of us had done the race before, and it was kind of the first 600-mile race we've done. And I think we came fifth in our IRC class, and both performing well, but then stepping ashore, we knew that, okay, this is what we want to do moving forward. I think that was really both an achievement for the team, but also a fun kind of revelation on, yeah, this is really cool. This is what something worth pursuing. I haven't really thought about that, but the strange thing is that looking at kind of the sailing heroes, that tends to be like Eric Tabarly and the French solo sailors and kind of the adventurers that didn't have any data and they didn't have any of the things that we pride ourselves on. So, but looking back, when I was younger, those were the guys. So the big thing this year was the AEGEAN 600 in Greece. That was the first time to run that race. So that basically the main focus was to do that race in a good way, and we kind of made that happen with all the logistics and did a pretty good result as well. So now the pressure is off. So we're still gonna do the Middle Sea Race in October, but right now we feel that we don't have to kind of prove anything. Understanding the data and how to kind of get the most out of the boat in every situation, and I think we have come pretty far, but to really, because it's so easy that me as an owner, I understand all 20 numbers, but the people who just come on board to do the racing, they got stuck with 2 or 3 numbers that they kind of rely on. Yeah, I think so. Forestay tension has been one of the kind of 4 or 5 numbers that we have on the mast that we really communicate around, where and for me, helming, that helps me communicate with the main trimmer and the jib trimmer on where are we and where do we want to be, and we have a decent like matrix of base values where we feel comfortable with speed, but I really like to be even more granular with the numbers and understand kind of not just the number we need to hit, but what happens when we go above and below, to be even more kind of granular with both the communication and maybe even find new modes. I think we have some like numbers that we are that we rely on. So in the middle of the night for a given wind strength, I think just hitting the number and knowing, okay, this is fast. We're there now, so that's good. But I think, as with all data, I think the cool thing is that when you think you figured it out, there's always another layer of more complexity and new findings and more speed and more modes. And if you do that with the wind angles and the target speeds and the forestay tension, then you find more and more performance in the boat. So I think that's the fun thing, where we kind of we've kind of got 80% of what we expect out of the sensor. But I think long term, to finding the last percentages, that's the magic, and that will make a huge difference long distance.